This is the Willpower Podcast, live at APTA CSM. We're here with physical therapy leaders and practice owners from across the country talking about where the industry is going and what it takes to grow in today's landscape. Today I'm joined by JR from PRN, discussing the art and the science of recruiting in physical therapy, what students need to know to find the right fit, and what practice owners must do right now to attract and keep top talent in a post-pandemic landscape. Let's get into it. JR, welcome to the Willpower Podcast. I am so excited to talk about recruiting, and I'm so grateful that you're willing to share some of those secrets that you have developed over the years to help you recruit effectively. Thanks for coming to the show.
Of course, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your tips and tricks of what we're doing today, because recruiting is so hard in the industry, isn't it?
Absolutely, especially since the pandemic. We've seen major shifts in the recruiting landscape overall. Whether you're a smaller company or a larger company, it's had major impacts on pretty much everyone across the board. So hopefully you can share some tips and tricks today to kind of help you take you to the next level.
I love it. And so this is both, of course, for students and for business owners. So what would students need to know in order to be effectively recruited? What do they have to know themselves in order to find the best fit?
I think that in order to be effectively recruited as a student, I think that the first thing that you have to do is to make sure that you do your research. You have to look into every company that you apply for. You have to look into the salary ranges, look into the benefits that they're offering, take a look into the total compensation package. I know that it can be, you might sometimes want to just take a look at the overall base number and take that for what it is, but you have to kind of look a little bit deeper into that. Don't take that solely into account. You have to go past that, look into the company as a whole, their culture, their values, what they're about, because money isn't everything at the end of the day, especially with this current generation. They're looking for more values-based, the work-life balance thing. They're looking for purpose more so than just salary. Now, of course, salary also matters quite a great deal to the students, but you also want to keep in mind that, this current generation, they have different values than some other generations previously.
Absolutely. And so this is a great question for both practice owners and students, because I want to ask you, how does a student determine how do they do research on culture? How do they understand that?
Yep. So there are many resources across the board. I would say that Glassdoor is a great place to start. They have lots of company reviews on there. You can hear directly from current employees, former employees. Same thing with Indeed. And, just take a look also at their reviews on Google from the patient side of things as well, because you can learn quite a lot about a company, how it functions, how it works, just by reading those patient reviews.
I love that.
So sometimes, for example, you'll see, I've seen reviews where the PTs were all huddled together. They weren't actually, speaking to the patients. You kind of can get a value or
a sense of their values.
Yeah, a sense of their values just based on those kinds of small little things,
That's amazing. And so that's a great thing for employers to know, because Absolutely. If that's where the students are going, they should be aware of what's on Glassdoor. They should be aware of the Google reviews that are out there. And I would add Indeed reviews. That was something that I coached on, was how this new generation is leveraging Indeed. Most ads, there's different sites, but Indeed's the number one, and there are reviews on Indeed. And if you don't know what your reviews are, immediately step one would be go see what people are saying about you, because that's the first place most students who are doing any sort of research are going to look.
Absolutely. And you know what, with this current generation, they have so much access to resources, their phones, TikTok, this and that. So you just want to make sure that your company brand, wherever it's at, whether that's Indeed, Glassdoor, Facebook, or anywhere else, that it's polished, that it's kept updated, that you present yourself well, because trust me, these students are looking. They are not, they're quite smart.
Yeah.
Exactly what they're
They're more savvy than my generation was, for sure, because we just literally would go talk to people and find one we felt good about, versus they're looking at the technology that they've learned growing up.
Exactly. It's no longer the times where, you just bring in a resume and get a job on the spot. They're doing deep research.
That's amazing. So how do you guys operate? Because you guys it's interesting. I love that we have a larger, how many locations do you guys manage at this point?
Yeah, so we at PRN, we have about 275 locations spread throughout 17 states, mainly west of the Mississippi.
So that's amazing. So recruiting at that scale, you have to have learned the basics and mastered the complex levels of recruiting. What would you say are a few tips and tricks for young company owners, not young company, but smaller companies? Like, let's say they're doing anywhere between $500,000 to $3 million in revenue, and they're one, maybe two locations. What major tips would you share on helping them recruit more effectively?
Yeah, I would say one of the most important things that you can do is be actively present in your community, wherever that's at. So one of the biggest resources for us is especially the career fairs at your local universities, at your local colleges. Make sure that your name is always present and out there. Even if you're a company that only has one or two smaller clinics, those are also great places that you want to start at. Also, make sure that you have the right resources and tools available to you. Indeed, like you mentioned earlier, most of our applicants actually come directly from Indeed. So make sure that you have a professional account set up. Of course, it can get a little bit pricey, but the revenue for sure pays itself off because you're able to hire PTs quite a little bit faster. The smart sourcing, daily sourcing, actively reaching out to candidates in the area, LinkedIn. There's lots and lots of resources available to you, as well as some local niche job boards as well. So you just have to make sure that you're tapping into various resources, especially now because every other company is doing the same thing. And, there are fewer and fewer PTs and more job postings going up. So you have to have your hands in many different pots as of right now.
Yeah, it's interesting, JR. I see companies all the time that do master recruiting. They literally have no problem hiring. And the ones that I've seen are ones that, have really learned these different techniques we're talking about today across the board. But the shortcut would be own the university relationships.
Absolutely.
I have a friend who, I will say this as a shortcut rock stars, that if you're looking to master recruiting quickly, if you can do it, have someone on your team be an adjunct professor at a local university nearest to your clinic. Those companies almost always don't struggle with recruiting because they're building those relationships through classwork over years. And so in your case, it's not as simple. Like for you guys now to go back to like a single location, it's very easy. But as you guys are recruiting across hundreds of locations across the country, you're dealing with different, divisions of like how many schools are nearby. You have variables that are different. So, what do you do personally? What are some of your favorite things about recruiting that you find are effective, JR?
Some of my favorite recruiting tools and some things that I find effective are really that daily sourcing that I mentioned.
So it's a daily effort for you.
It's for sure.
I think we got to recognize it's a daily effort, team. Yeah.
Yep. So every day that I wake up, the first thing that I do before getting to emails, before doing anything else, I check Indeed, the smart sourcing. I have automated alerts set up. So anytime new applicants, new candidates are active in an area, I immediately get an email and I'm on those candidates right away.
Wow.
The longer that you wait, the faster that another company will reach out to them. At this point in the current recruiting landscape, it really is all a matter of speed. Hundreds and hundreds of companies reaching out to these PTs. They almost don't even have to apply for a job.
Yeah.
The recruiter will find them wherever they're at. So it's ultimately just how fast you are able to get after it,
Speed has always been the single most important variable for successful recruiting in my experience.
Absolutely.
There's this phrase I've heard at one of my many coaching events where that said speed kills deals. If we aren't hot linking, like if an email comes through from a candidate who's asking a question, if we aren't making that the single greatest priority to get back to those people as quickly as humanly possible, we are losing the recruiting game in today's world. Because you're getting up every day. Listen, rock stars, JR gets up every day, and first thing he does is he checks anything that could have come through overnight. You don't wait till after emails or anything else. You're like first thing you're in.
Absolutely. Early bird gets the worm, and if you're not on it right away, and this also goes into, the hiring manager side of things as well. It's a total team effort. I always believe that no candidate should at any point in the process wait more than 24 hours.
Wow.
I have Outlook on my phone. I have Teams. I have everything set up. Recruitment isn't a job for the week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once they apply, I'm reaching out to them directly, immediately, getting them on the phone, text, call, email, making sure that they are aware of how present I am and how interested in them that I actually am. If you wait too long, they'll just move on. They'll find something else pretty quickly. It's just the situation currently,
Absolutely. Alex Ramosi, who's a well-known business coach, has said that people go through life with very high levels of motivation for very small periods of time. And so I've heard owners erroneously say like, well, it'll work out the way that it'll need to. And if they really want this job, they'll make more of an effort. They don't get it. Like when someone says, hey, I'm curious, it means mentally and emotionally they're open. And that space we can fill quickly with information and it doesn't mean you should hire them, But it does mean that like the right hires, when they come along, if we're not acting quickly on them, we lose all that opportunity because that motivation goes away. Or frankly, someone else is quicker. A JR is out there responding before you do. So it's important that they respond quickly to these things. And I love how you're in this position of, constantly monitoring and keeping in tabs with all the different students as you're doing this, because it's a daily effort for you guys. What are some of the bigger tactics that you do? Like our CSM, like we're here today at CSM, is this a big event for you guys? Like where are you guys usually in those spaces when you're at that size?
Absolutely. So CSM for us, that's actually one of our largest sources for hiring. Especially this year, we've met quite a lot of great third-year students.
3,000 students they announced.
Yeah. All over the country as well. So once we get back, to the offices, we plan on messaging these folks, getting them onto our list. It's always just actively following up with these folks, making sure that, again, they're aware that you are interested in them. Obviously, don't go overboard. Don't be sending them 1,000 texts every other day. At that point, they will get tired of you pretty quickly. But again, it's that constant kind of communication, staying in touch, kind of building a personal relationship as well, a respectful personal relationship where every now and then you kind of check up on them. Hey, how's it going? I know you're 3 months away from graduation. Do you have any questions? Can I help you with interview tips? Do you have a resume that you would like me to look over? So it's the little things that I found in life and in this job that really goes quite a long way. You have to make sure that people know that you care. Because, there's thousands of companies, recruiters doing the same thing that you are. But if you have a little bit more of a personal touch, that goes quite a long way. And they value that as well.
Yeah. And I think it goes without saying that you have to have a product, a company that people want to work at.
Absolutely.
To begin with. So what do you say? Because you guys, it's different. You're not giving away any secret sauce by saying this. But when students come to your booth here at CSM and you're talking to them about working for you, what is it that's unique about PRN that you would want them to know that gets them excited about signing up with more information?
Yeah, I would say what makes PRN a little bit unique from some of our other competitors is for sure our commitment to continuing education and growth and also the work-life balance aspect of things. So we have something we call Transition to Practice. It's a 12-month transitional program from the time that you start to the time that, you've been a PT for a year. We have quarterly check-ins, quarterly reviews to ensure that our new grads, the students are feeling comfortable in their progress, that they're at a certain levels that they want to be, that they're performing well. We don't want to, just to have a program where we start them, we throw them to the wolves and we say, good luck, figure it out or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that never works out. That's how you get the burnout early on in their career and, they run away and go to medical sales or something else completely,
Absolutely.
We'd rather keep our PTs in-house. I would say furthermore, our commitment to the work-life balance. There are certain things that we offer that not necessarily every company offers as well. We have AI documentation fully integrated into our EMR system.
Who's your EMR?
Raintree.
Oh,
we're actually here as well.
I am a huge fan of Raintree.
Yep. It's been awesome so far for us. Documentation time for our clinicians has reduced by 90%. So from 8 minutes to 1 minute, it's been fantastic for our clinicians. And it really goes towards that work-life balance that we continually preach. We do 410s, 5/8s, 3/12s, and a 4-day work week if you want. So there's lots and lots of different flexibility. Like I mentioned earlier, this current and new generation, there are certain things that they value.
Yeah.
They want to get out on the Fridays and go to the mountains or go spend time with their kids. If they're still putting in 40 hours in a week, there's no point in really being a stickler about how that 40 hours is ultimately divided.
Sure.
Because you're still getting a clinician for 40 hours, So I think it's just getting down or not getting down, but meeting them at their level. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Talk to them. Just have a conversation. Find out what's important to your clinician. Because for people, it's different things. Some people really do just want to be out early. Some people want to make more money. There are always ways to find a way to say yes. Like say no as few as you can.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to make $140,000. Sure, you can get that, but here's what it would ultimately look like to get to that number.
Yeah, and you're willing to put forth the effort to do that.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Say yes more than you say no. That goes such a long way.
This has been such a great conversation, JR. I love how your expertise just flows through everything you're saying. As we wrap things up, how do people want to if people want to get a hold of you to learn more about recruiting, or maybe a student who's looking for a job or a company that wants to get more help, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. My name is JR Bonhomme, Bonhomme. You can also reach out to our company website, prnpt.com. I'm also available on Indeed.
I'll make sure we put everything in your show notes as well so that you're not feeling that super overwhelmed of having to get there. So we will get that there, guys. You can just go to the show notes and click on all those wonderful things. Before we wrap up, I'd love to do some rapid fire questions with you. Are you ready for this?
Shoot.
What's your favorite thing about recruiting?
My favorite thing about recruitment, especially in the PT world, is helping the communities that we serve. I've had a really tough time filling a position in Strasburg, Colorado.
Yeah.
It's about 40 minutes east of Denver. Very rural location. We're the only PT company out there, so I'm very close to getting that position filled.
Wow.
And once I do have that big win behind me, I think I'm going to throw a party or something.
Let's go.
Just because, you know what I mean? Like I said, we're the only PT company out there. It's not like we can't get that hire. So I always think that you have to keep the community in mind. That's why we're all doing this. That's why PTs become PTs. They're trying to help. I'm trying to help. Even though I'm not necessarily the one taking care of the patients, I know that my efforts, they do help in that sense. And
it makes a difference. It helps the community.
Absolutely. And selfishly, it also makes you feel better about yourself, you know?
Yeah, because you're making a
helping.
difference.
Exactly.
And there's nothing selfish about the love of helping others. More fun. Where's somewhere you've been in the world that you've loved or somewhere you're excited to go?
Baja California. I had a chance when I was in high school. I did, let me take a step back, actually. I thought I wanted to become a marine biologist at one point. So I did a program where they took us to Baja California. I don't know if you're aware, but there's like whales and
oh yeah,
it's like one of the most biologically diverse places in the world. I had a chance to go scuba diving.
Wow.
I saw things that I never thought I would be able to see. And Baja California is also absolutely beautiful. It's one of the coolest places that I've ever been. But as far as next locations, and it's completely different, I would like to go to Antarctica.
Let's
to see
go.
completely different things, but I think Antarctica is pretty cool.
From the most biodiverse and nothing at all, you're going to go to Antarctica.
I read a book on Shackleton, and it really kind of got me interested.
So that's the next question. Maybe that's it. So I ask people, what's a book or a movie or a show, a podcast, anything that you've consumed that you've enjoyed recently?
Yeah. One thing I would mention is maybe it's a book by I believe it's Peter Fitzsimmons, Mutiny on the Bounty. It's a great lesson in leadership, how you carry yourself, how you interact with others, how it can really help or hinder you. In the book, it tells a tale of these folks going on a voyage to Tahiti, bringing breadfruit over from Tahiti to Jamaica. And it went well for the most part. It was going well, but the leadership structure started to break down. It led to mutiny, all because the leader, he wasn't necessarily looking out for his those under him, wasn't managing the team well.
Yeah, right.
So that goes such a long way in any organization, team management, team resource management, making sure that you're always fully aware of what's happening within your life, whether that's your clinic, whether you're on a boat, whether it's your friends even.
Yeah.
Making sure that you're always in contact. And I really can't recommend that book enough.
Love it.
And it's also just a great read, honestly. It's historical, but it's also very fun.
Love it. Well, listen, JR, you're a powerful leader. Who in your family has made a significant impact? A parent, a grandparent? Is there someone that comes to mind when I ask that question that had something to do with the leader that you've become?
Yeah, I would say honestly, and this is probably not the answer that you're expecting, but it was my middle school 8th grade music teacher.
Oh, this is great.
Her name was Kate Faravanti. I still call her Mrs. Faravanti, of course.
Yeah.
But she saw something in me early on that I didn't even necessarily see in myself. And her experience and her belief in me, actually, I feel like it's one of those moments in life where your paths kind of diverge. I could have gone this way, or I could have gone another way. I went on the right path with her support. And I really feel as if my life is completely different because she was present in my life. I still connect with her every few months as well, just making sure that we're still in contact.
Going back to your book.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And making sure that she knows how much she's had an impact on my life. You know, it's, I can't thank teachers enough. It's sometimes I feel as if they're underappreciated, but
sure.
Just one good teacher can have a major impact on you, 20, 30 years later. And I still think about how much she means to me,
I love it, JR. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. You've been a phenomenal support in this wonderful community, and I'm so excited for people to hear what you had to say.
Of course, thank you for your time, Will.
Okay, guys. Well, that's it for today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Willpower Podcast. As always, this is Will Humphreys reminding you to lead with love and never give up. Until next time.